Yeah, I see Alan's in the mix. He's at a museum of sorts. He's at the Reading Public Museum.
Me?
Yeah, I see an art piece back there.
No, this is my black lady.
That is a black lady. I guess there could be black ladies at a museum too, though.
Well, probably not Reading.
I feel like Reading. It's probably up on that, right?
No, I don't think
Really?
so. Reading's very Puerto Rican and white.
Yeah, definitely. Huh. Well, yeah, it's been a while. We've yet to take a trip to a museum. I feel like we would thoroughly enjoy this. We've not done
Yeah,
this though.
we have.
Well, you're right. We went to the library that had an exhibit for Jay-Z.
Yeah.
So yeah, in that sense, we did. I'm talking about like contemporary art museum though, or interpretations or had to have.
See, I'm not gonna lie. When I first said that, I thought we were at the museum, but the museum is next to the library.
Yeah, they had the Spike Lee one up, but then it was closed on that day for some reason, which is crazy. What if I showed up just to go to the museum and then it was closed?
No,
That
I'm
would
sure that happens with a lot of people. I'm sure that museums get people turned away and upset all the time.
that's bonkers, man. Property Ebonics. Welcome, Property Ebonics. Welcome, Property Ebonics.
We're in the building.
Yeah. Oh, we haven't. And I'm pulling up the topics here, so excuse if it looks like I'm craning my head. I feel like a lot of times people do it discreetly when they're looking at their phone, but we're so evolved. We recognize when people's looking at their phone. Like if you have the head down like that, it's very clear what you're doing. I don't
I
like when
mean,
people try to be discreet about the phone use.
you can put your phone. So, like, I can have my phone right by the camera right now and be scrolling right now, but it looks like I'm looking in the camera, but I'm looking to the right.
I'm gonna give it a shot.
Go ahead, try it.
I'm scrolling.
Yep. I have no idea what you're doing either.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna stop scrolling for a little bit. But it's nice to know that I have that little hack there if I wanted to.
You blocked the camera, right?
What are you talking about?
You just put your phone in front of the camera. I could see you scrolling.
I was following your instructions. I was
No, I said put the phone behind the camera, like so. So like you can't see that I have a phone in my hand right now. You were like this. You were like, I'm scrolling. I'm scrolling. Oh.
I don't know if that's what I was doing. You said behind the camera?
Yeah, you gotta put your that's how the other person on Zoom doesn't know if you're scrolling or not. Yeah, but you gotta come closer. You're not good at this. You're just not good. There's just too many armpits. If you're watching on YouTube, Kirk doesn't shave his armpits. Neither do I though. I didn't know guys did that actually. Did you know that?
Swimmers. Yeah, no, some guys do that sort of thing like that. I don't really do the armpits. Sometimes I'll give them a trim up. I don't want to get gross or anything, but I feel like a lot of times when you accumulate hair, that could in turn accumulate strains of odor. So sometimes I'll trim up the the armpits and the pubic hair, and if I'm feeling real spicy, I'll shave my butt.
Welcome to Proper Ebonics with Kirk and Alan. We're in the building.
It feels nice. Sometimes it's like sometimes I don't get used to the friction because I'm so used to the friction of hair, but when no hair is there, it's like just two marbles rubbing together.
I was hoping when you said it feels nice, you were talking about like being on the podcast, about the talk about some topics. I know you were still talking about your marbles.
Yeah, no, it's nice being out here too. Man. You and I, we haven't touched base since our historic show at Music Fest,
I didn't
Bethlehem, Ice
realize
House.
I didn't realize it was the first ever live podcast at Music Fest.
Yeah, it was wild.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy because it is like a known festival and like we were the first ones in there. That's pretty cool.
We were the very first live podcast at the nation's biggest free festival. Period. Like that's insane.
Yeah, very nice. People showed up and all that stuff. We're at the Ice House. We ran for like a good hour and so. Then we topped it off with some dazzling stand-up comedy. We were real dazzled out that day. That was a good day.
It was a really good day. It was raining outside, which brought people inside to the show. So that
Yeah.
was good. You know what I mean? It was an all around good time. Had my kids with me. they enjoy themselves. So as long as
Yeah.
they eat, they're fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah, your kids didn't heckle or anything like that, which is good. I think there were some temptations. I may have suggested it to them. I say temptations. I may have just like went up to them and be like, "Yo, it'd be a really funny thing if you heckled your father." But they didn't.
Funny.
No, they took some photos and all that stuff. It was good. And yeah, shout out to all the comics out there and all that, man. It was definitely wavy.
Yeah, man. But that was well, that was like a week. That was like 2 weeks,
2 weeks
3 weeks ago.
ago. Yeah, we're on
Yeah,
schedule. We're yeah, we're record. Well, technically we're on schedule. We had I think a Saturday scheduling one. Didn't really map out, but it kind of worked out for the better because now we're on a Tuesday. I'm always looking for reasons to enhance my Tuesday. Tuesdays to be kind of dicey. They could be a little. It's like the February of days, in my opinion. So a lot of times I'm looking for reasons to enhance my Tuesday. So instead of going out rollerblading and ripsticking, I have proper box to look forward to. So that's a good thing.
yeah, it is. I mean, you can do it Tuesday. You can do podcasts on Tuesdays if you want, Kirk.
That's
It's up to
true.
you.
And as I may have mentioned before during the live podcast, Tuesdays have been preoccupied with Muay Thai. Pat, if you could play Kirk performs Muay Thai on Tuesday music. So this is my one day away from Muay Thai. I gotta determine if I'm going to continue with it now that I've done like the entry level classes. I gotta determine if I'm going to pay the monthly fee to continue with my Muay Thai.
You have to.
That's what I'm thinking.
You have to. You can't just start Muay Thai and then stop because of some fee.
That's how I'm
What if you,
feeling.
what if you get beat up and then somebody robs you for that money that you could have spent paying for the class?
Damn, that'd be tragic. That'd truly be tragic. I don't want that to happen. Yeah, man, I mean, I stated before, man. Muay Thai, a lot of it's in the mind too. A lot of it's in the mind. Avoiding conflict and such. Avoiding not just like through communication skills, but also elusive. Being very elusive and quick with my feet and head. Pause.
No, yeah, no, I get it. I mean, Muay Thai, or you can go do what Pat does. What was Pat doing? The
Jiu-jitsu.
Jiu-Jitsu. Yeah, yeah, you could do all. You
I
could do all of
saw I saw a random video pop up. I forgot on what social media thing, and I was like, "Large brawl breaks out on 6th Street in Austin." And I was looking for Pat. I was looking for someone in a gi. it's, who'd Pat try to get up in an armbar?
it. Just
Umpa
look, just look for the mullet. I
It's-
mean, that's probably hard in Austin. It's probably Austin up.
Bruiser Pat's changed. Bruiser Pat's like wearing cowboy hats. We don't get to see them all anymore.
He wearing shoes with spurs on them already.
It's yeah. He doesn't even do jiu-jitsu anymore. He just relies on the gun. Uh, Bruiser
he just
Pat stays
he,
Pat.
he just wrangles bulls now with the rope.
Wrangling 3 guns. It's
Producer Pat. Oh
yeah.
boy.
Bruce Pat, you were missed at the live recording. You were missed there. There's been multiple times where I was like, Bruce Pat, if we could do something. I looked over and just saw Ryan Hill instead. I was like, that's not Bruce Pat. But nonetheless, shout out to Ryan Hill. He helped
Shout
us.
out, shout out to Ryan. At the live podcast, you talked about your retainer.
Oh my god.
How's that retaining?
I appreciate that. But yeah, well, as you can see, smile's still intact. But the thing is, man, like I actually have an appointment tomorrow. I'm going to an orthodontist, and yeah, man, I may get braces. I may get braces, man. It's like my teeth, they're retained in some way, but I feel them slightly moving. And I feel like the gap almost getting wider. I could go most people I pointed out to don't notice at all. Like I had to really like get up in their face, be like, "Do you see it?" And they're like, "No," and I had to like really keep doing it. See it? And they keep saying no, but I feel it though, and this makes me recognize. A lot of times you hear people will say like they'll get like the Botox or the cosmetic surgeries and such. And as naturalists as you and I are, part of us without judgment, it's just like, oh, why do that? Stick out with natural. Now I kind of have empathy for that because this natural progression of my teeth, I feel I'm not feeling great about it. So I understand when people want to do certain things to make them feel okay about themselves and how they operate.
So now you want to get a mouth BBL?
I wish it was that simple. If I could just go and take a trip to Rio and get a mouth BBL, come back juicy. Um, no, now instead I'm just gonna go to Exton, local orthodontist. Shout out to Dr. Smedley. And, yeah, so still not determined yet. I went to a general dentist. And have you heard of the term tooth bonding before?
Tooth bonding.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So like
that's when two teeth go to the bar. Wait, I'm sorry, I couldn't even get it out. Just go ahead.
it's a ridiculous concept. I appreciate the direction you're going, but nonetheless,
And
it's
they have some
ridiculous.
guacamole together, and then they talk about work. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Brace yourself. Well, tooth bonding is a it's a thing that I guess like regular dentists do, general dentists, where if there's like a mild gap in someone's teeth, they'll pretty much use a part of the tooth to form like this replica of a filling, and that will go in place. I went to a general doctor just to discuss that option with them, just to learn more. And quote, the doctor was like, "I would not do tooth bonding on you because you have the perfect teeth." And I said, "Thank you, doctor." So he said, "Even if you were eligible for it, I wouldn't do it because you're beautiful." He didn't say the beautiful part, but like he was really rocking with my teeth, and that felt
That's
good.
pretty much that's pretty much what he said. He said you have perfect teeth. He said you're beautiful. He said he wants
Yeah,
to have your babies.
yeah. He
Right.
said he wants to go to the bar, share some guacamole. And but so now it's looking like the only option is either getting a new retainer from a different provider, different dentist that would indeed close the gap, or getting what they estimate to be a 4 month treatment of either braces or Invisalign. And yeah, man, it turns out super common.
They have gaps.
Well, it's no more so like because people they typically get braces in when they're like a kid, and a lot of times kids lose their retainers or just don't wear them, and then later in adulthood their teeth form back in a certain way,
Yeah.
and then they get braces again. I didn't realize how common it was, which doesn't necessarily make me feel better about it. Uh, what makes me feel better is how well I took care of my retainer and the mystery of what happened to that damn retainer. But it's interesting to see that that's a common thing.
Yeah. Think about it. Who wants to wear their retainer every single night?
Dog, let me tell you, I felt prosperous wearing my retainer. You wake up, your teeth are all straight, look in the mirror, feels nice. Clean the retainer in the Polydent jar overnight.
Now
So it
look
just
at
felt good. What's that?
now look at you be teeth bonding soon.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
did you lose it? What happened? Somebody stole it?
No, man, I suspect that I was at a hotel before Maine, before we went to the Airbnb. I last saw it. Everyone that was there saw it on the sink. And then I have no recollection of what happened afterwards. How I operate, I would have put in my bag, but who knows? Maybe it was put in a bag that was thrown out. The hotel says they didn't see it. Um, yeah, just I don't know. I've always taken care of it.
I think a crackhead might have stole your retainer. They steal anything.
Yeah, yeah. If you're listening right now and you are in the Portland, Maine area and you've come across a retainer in a green container, uh, know that there is a reward if returned to Kirk Griffiths. I won't give out my address, but you know where to follow me.
Yeah, they listen to the podcast right now. They may be crackheads and homeless, but they got a phone. They do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. That's part of it, man. Did I forgot? Do you ever have braces?
No, I've never
Man,
had braces.
you got good teeth too. That's cool.
Nah, they all right. I got
You
some
got a
work
nice
need to.
smile, play.
Thank you, but I got some work need to be done. I got this chip tooth right here. I've been
Uh,
I've been
that's the
chipped
thing
for a
about
while.
like saying like, and it's something I want to embrace about myself too. But I'm so used to what I've had and all that. It's like there's things where like teeth don't have to be like this perfectly aligned thing. Like unless it feels uncomfortable, of course. But, like I feel like there's some teeth out there that like people. There's people that rock like a gap in their tooth very well, sort of thing like that. Shout out to Kyle Ziegler. I think he listens to the show. He has a little gap. He rocks it very well. I think for me, I'm just not used to it anymore. So it's like, man, is food getting stuck in there? What? That's
I mean, I heard you can do some things with the gap in your teeth. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna just. I heard some things you can do. That's all I'm saying.
I'm
Um,
very curious what sort of sexual activities you could leverage with the use of a gap tooth.
You gotta use your imagination, or you let your teeth grow apart, and then you can just experiment.
Are people like tucking
You
like
got yeah.
sections of their skin into the teeth of the gap?
I'm sure your honey dip would love a gap in your teeth.
I mean, she's cool with it. So again, she's like, I don't really notice it, and she wants me to feel good. But like, yeah, I guess if I discover some sort of technique, then that could be reconsidered. Yeah.
It feels so good because you're so confused.
Yeah, I don't know what you're alluding to. This is crazy. This is
I
nuts.
get it. I get it. But my kids might be on YouTube watching this podcast, so just use your imagination.
I don't think you actually have something in mind.
Fine. That's fine. I mean, I can tell you afterwards, but I definitely do. Like, yeah, if you can't figure out what to do with a little gap in your teeth, pleasing the woman, then I'm tell you, bro.
All right, well, I'm gonna try to put a nipple in between the gap of my teeth, and then I'm gonna try to do a cartwheel, I suppose. I'll figure it out, I guess. I'll check out Wikipedia. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm saying so. I'm
Well,
sure. I'm sure that how that Kyle Zegler, he got a few tricks.
it's, Kyle, if you're listening, that's ridiculous.
That's
But
right.
yeah, man, thanks for asking. It's been a kind of a pain source, but getting it looked into, and it's being proactive about it. So we'll see.
Thanks for asking.
I appreciate it. You knew that was something on my mind.
You made that one of the topics.
I mean, true, but you could have dodged over it though. You could have went over to like one of the other topics. You went to a topic that's currently on top of mind for me. So I
Yo,
like to
that's
think it
so.
was intentional.
You know what's funny because I think you forgot the topics because we sent them a couple of days ago. So you wasn't even sure what I was doing. He's like, oh, he's concerned about my teeth.
I get
Oh,
it, man. And my teeth is a concern for both of us, man. We have our looks and all that stuff. People identify our faces. They identify your tallness with the podcast. They identify my afro and beautiful smile and overall favorable disposition. So yeah, people have their attachments to the podcast.
they do, man. They do. Everybody has their own attachments in this world, and you know who has someone? It's a strange. It's not a strange attachment, but it's a natural attachment that kind of grew apart, right? So
Well,
I don't know if you've seen this, but Simone Biles' biological mother is finally come back into the picture. Wanted to be a mom and have a relationship with her daughter again. You know what I
oh my
mean?
God.
Apparently her mom fell on hard times when back in the day she was an ex drug addict and she was stealing people's retainers. So she had Simone and her siblings go stay with her parents or whatever. So and now she's trying to come back into the world. How do you think that Simone Biles should like embrace her mother now that she's who she is and her mom off drugs?
Yeah, I did hear about this and all that stuff. It reminded me very much of, you remember the movie with Halle Berry, Raising Isaiah?
Losing Isaiah.
Is it Losing Isaiah?
I think it's losing, yeah.
Oh, okay. Really? Me either way, it probably is. But like,
I think so.
Chris Babb, you could check that, and you may be right. I always thought it was Raising Isaiah, but Losing Isaiah would make sense. Raising Arizona, Bruce, you're making jokes. So it kind of reminded me of that. Halle Berry, she is kind of addicted to drugs, and she has Isaiah, and then Isaiah is put into an orphanage and is raised by a family. I believe it was Michelle Pfeiffer, and then Halle Berry then gets her stuff together. She's like an attorney at law, and when Isaiah is like 14 or whatever, or maybe like a little bit younger, and she's like, yo, I'm back. I want to make amends. This is a little different because Simone Biles is like an adult and all that stuff, and I don't think custody is a matter in here. But I think if depends. Like I don't know if she has any sort of like hostility or resentments towards her mother. I think in just speaking generally, it's conversations worth having sort of thing. If it's just kind of that bond is there. But how are you feeling about it?
I think that it's interesting because they said that Simone Biles' mom has been in contact with the other siblings. So it's like,
Ah,
so once I heard that part, I was like, oh, okay, I see what this is. Simone Biles is going to have to just find forgiveness in her heart, like because like this is your mom. She became an addict. That's an illness. Like she wasn't well. You
yeah.
know, it ain't like you went into foster care. You went with your grandparents. So it's like you probably would have been over there half the time anyway. So it's like
That's the
I
point.
feel
She's
like
going to open with that argument. She's like, listen, you would have been there anyway. Right?
Right. So it's
You
like,
had all those mats that you were able to flip on. You should be thanking. Yeah, like it's
and if we're being honest, if think about Simone Biles is the greatest gymnast ever.
she'd be flipping.
You know what her genes consist of?
Hmm.
Her mom, probably the real gymnast. Could you imagine a Simone Biles on crack? Oh my gosh. Yo, she would
Multiple
clear.
mattresses being flipped over.
Oh, come on,
Yeah,
man. She be on the balance beam, killing it, then store a line off the beam. It'd be amazing. Yes.
yeah, just dismounts back into her life. Yeah, I didn't know that much about this. I didn't know that Simone Biles had like siblings, and that I guess the mom has reached back out to the siblings as well. So it's not just like, oh, I'm reaching out just to Simone sort of thing like that. It's a matter of like, I don't really know her intent. I don't really know enough about the person, so I can only speak in general terms. Uh, I hope it's a matter of they touch base. There's a men's maid, and there's no hostility of sorts. I can't knock them for doing it. I think there may be people of the idea that like, oh, she's only trying to get back in her life because she's very successful as this huge gymnast, and then they wonder would she be trying to get back in her life if she was just working as like a fire lady. Never heard that term before, fire lady. I'm sure it exists. Um, but say if she was a fire lady or not. Again, I don't know the optics completely of it, but I'm rooting for him. I hope it works out.
I feel like Simone Biles has been famous since she was like 16. So it's like, when is her mom supposed to come back? Like she should wait till she retires. You know what I mean? So it's like she's been famous in the best forever. So it's like, all right, it's now my time. Can I like
do you
when am I
think
supposed to
do you think she's tried before and this just happens to be the first time that's publicized?
for sure? That's like the fact that she is in contact with the other siblings.
Yeah.
It's not like she was like, let me holler at your sister, but no, I don't want the gold medalist. No. No, it's just but I think this is the first time I think we found out about it because the mom might have said something publicly. I think she had to.
She went on Facebook and made a post. She's like, I gotta let the world know about this one.
Yeah, I
Just
mean, I listen. If my kids in Paris and I can't go to Paris, Paris is amazing. You know what I'm saying? I want to go to Paris too.
it's
I'm gonna stir up some stuff and upload some drama. I wonder though with the conversation. I wonder if even the grandparents that raised them. I
mm,
wonder if they're still alive, and then like I wonder what the conversation from the grandparents to the kids is like. You know what I mean? So it's like is the grandparents like, yo, stay away from my family, you terrible person, or it's like, yo, this is your mother. You know what I mean? Like things
yeah.
happen. You know?
Hopefully the latter sort of thing, just but we could also appreciate when things go like whatever situations they may have had and they're entitled to how they're feeling of how the relationship with their, I guess, their daughter in this case. It's kind of hard to talk about a topic like this without really knowing the people because we could really only just speak in like what is our idea of this from very general terms, but there's so much like things from side like the mom could have maybe done X, Y, and Z to the parents, and then that led to it being like a safety issue, and that's not being highlighted as much. And maybe that's not the case, and we hope that's not. But in general terms, I'm rooting for Simone to rock out with her mom, and then they could go to we're in LA 2028. They could both
Yeah,
flip together.
2028. They said that the Olympics in 2028 they were going to do a well, I guess because they had the Olympics in LA in the 80s, they're going to do like a no car Olympics to
Oh,
prevent like traffic.
uh,
Because you figure traffic in LA already crazy.
yeah, I don't know how that's like doing it. I mean, surprisingly, I haven't really done it in New York in a while or if ever, I don't know, but it would be like having in New York. It's like, where are you going to do this? Like Paris, they had it like right at the Eiffel Tower. Like they had the infrastructure to do it. LA, it's like, where do you put that on? Is it like,
I think there's plenty of arenas there's plenty of arenas for that and stuff. But I think that the traffic, like if the world coming to LA and a place that's already the most traffic, it's just like it's gonna be crazy. I
how?
think I seen a thing where they said they were gonna like be busing people. So it's like if you anywhere near the arenas, you got to get a bus there.
Yeah, I don't know how. the locals are going to be able to go to the Madame Tussauds Museum when the Olympics comes to LA. That's going to be very problematic for them, and no bus in the world is going to fix that issue. And I'm very curious to see what the outcome is. Something that I was also very curious about when you speak about the Olympics is the commentary that we've been hearing from the Australian breakdancer Reagan. Have you been seeing the coverage of this wild breakdancer?
I haven't, Kirk.
What?
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Just see your face.
Yeah.
He was like, what? Really? How?
How have I heard of this?
Of course, man. This may be the biggest like story out of the Olympics, I think. Like it's up there.
This is like international Hawk Tuo. This is I like this story a little bit more though. So here's my take on it. I guess people have different views, but I watched the coverage and definitely some eccentric moves, but I wasn't watching it like, yo, this is a detriment to the culture of breakdancing. What an awful person for being a representation of breakdancing, and it was this horrible thing. What I feel like, one, she's bouncing on her head. That's crazy in itself. You're bouncing on your head. I'm not criticizing what you're doing. If you're upside down, jiggling on your head, that you breakdancing right there. So I wasn't too mad when I saw this. I thought it was maybe some moves were again kind of eccentric and yeah, a little hokey or whatever. But yeah, I wasn't. I don't know. I didn't really feel like it was a disrespect to the culture.
I'm on the complete opposite side of this than you are. This
Okay.
this was this was terrible. This was one of
Sure.
the worst displays of break dancing I've ever seen. When you describe break dancing as jiggling on your head, that's not good.
Bro, have you ever tried to jiggle on your head?
I can break dance better than that.
You really feel that way?
What? I gotta find a video. It's a video on my Instagram somewhere years ago. I was looking for it. There's you did that. I was looking for it, but it's on there somewhere. I'm gonna find it. Yeah, I can.
All right. Well, I haven't seen it, so I won't knock it. But I just feel like a lot of people that are been kind of criticizing Raygun, part of me wonders like, well, how many of you guys can actually break dance? Sort of thing like that. Like, how many of you guys can actually? I feel like if you're going to drop that much
Uh,
criticism on someone, at least be a performer yourself.
you
Um,
can't say that because you don't do it. You can't criticize it. You can't do that. That's
Yeah, but I recognize it's a little hypocritical. There's a lot of movies I maybe don't like, and I'll like have some criticisms for it. But I feel like to the degree in which we're dropping criticism, it's not like constructive criticism, like, oh man, I don't really feel like that really fits into the category of breakdance. And people are out there saying like, yo, we need to like beat her feet. She'll never breakdance again. We need to take her shoes off. We need to make sure she's homeless and shame her and her family forever bracing my eyes. It feels very much like on that level, a lot of vitriol.
yeah. So like I feel like constructive criticism is criticism you give someone so they can get better and do. But then there's the thing that let you know that you're really bad at this. Maybe you should stop. Like
Never
I don't.
said.
I'm not trying to constructively criticize you. I want you to know that this is not your lane. Like you should do something else.
Well, I guess it brings it up a different kind of matter. Not different. It's actually what I've been thinking about with all this. Is like, what compels someone to bestow that onto someone else?
We talked about this when people see like we talked about this on TikTok when I made a joke that people don't like. They're like, you should quit and don't quit your day job. Like
Right.
it's like what? Yeah. So it's subjective, and
Hmm.
I think breakdancing is an art. It is subjective, and a lot of people subjectively thought it was bad. Like
Yeah, and that's like I guess that's the thing with it. Like it's subjective, and there's different. I'm sure there's like different like markers within breakdancing that you have to hit, just like comedy sort of thing in ways where it's like it's subjective, but yeah, there's certain things that there's structure behind it. I guess I just wonder kind of like when I think of like comedy, like for people saying like quit comedy, never do it again, sort of thing like that. It's like what's compelling them to do that? Like that's not really is it helpful in any way? Like what's and I feel like in terms of our culture, when it comes to the ray gun, we're seeing a lot of that, and it's just kind of a amplified version of it. And I think that's the part that kind of rubs me the wrong way. Because it's like, all right, well, you didn't like the performance, yeah, maybe it was a little goofy, but Oh, it's don't yeah, it's like make a whole like petition against her sort of thing like that.
I get it. I get it. I think some people hate because they're not happy. I think that's the reason why some people be like you should quit this and stop that. People just aren't happy with themselves, and they may see you doing something that they wish they could do and they can't do. That's one reason why somebody would tell you to quit. But then there's people that feel like you're disrespecting our culture. You know what
Mm.
I mean? So it's like if you're doing something that I feel is disrespectful to hip hop culture, I want you to stop. Yo, I'm not gonna be like, yo, this is how you get better at making a mockery out of them. No, just stop. Like,
Mm.
you know what I mean? Like, it's not nothing about breakdancing in the Olympics intrigued me. Nothing about it. If it ain't just black people, Latinos and the Asians, the Jabberwockies is fire. But like other than that, I don't. I was like, no, Australia. Anybody could. So you want to see a Switzerland? You want to see them popping lock? No, like, come
Yeah,
on, man.
I want to see a kangaroo do something kind of crazy. Imagine hopping on that tail. That'd be nice.
A kangaroo would probably got a higher score than a ray gun.
It can't be, and I wouldn't blame it either. Kangaroo up there, be like, what? We
Yeah,
stopped the game just to look at this kangaroo. It's like, damn, this is a majestic creature. I think the Japanese they got gold in breakdancing.
yeah. Look, I don't even know who got gold. I didn't watch it, but that makes sense. Like they've been still in our culture for years. They're good at it. Um, so yeah, but I just no, yeah. I
But
think that there was so much backlash because it was multiple things. It wasn't like, yo, this. So okay, here for example, the person that was last in the gymnastics floor routine. You knew who that person was?
the lot, like in general, no.
Who scored
Either.
last? Right. We don't know. We're not telling that person to quit. Right. We
Right.
don't feel like they made a mockery of our culture. No, they went and they did something they've been doing for their whole lives, probably. You know what I mean? If they understand. Yeah, I just feel like this ray gun person was maybe they were just misled. It didn't seem like they were involved
That's
in the culture at all. It was just like, what are you doing?
that's the best misleading where it leads you to a global stage of the Olympics. That's I can't knock that. I can't like if you
Like who did she outperform to get there? Like
just the idea of like, yeah, listen to like one Boogie Down production album in college. And I just started going to dance clubs. I started shuffling a little bit, and then I started getting really into culture. And you make it with Olympics. I'm not gonna knock that. To your point of Japanese taken from our culture, I like to give a shout out to anime. I feel like that's something that, as our culture, hip hop culture, black culture, got a lot of that from Japanese.
you think hip hop culture got a lot from Japanese anime?
Well, from anime, I'm talking about anime. Yeah, I would say like
Like what?
I'm not really like an anime head like that, but like I know like the One Pieces, the Attack on Titan. And that, granted, I don't know how many of these are strictly for just Japan or outside to like other places, but I know Japan has a pretty big stakehold when it comes to like anime. And
Right. But what I'm saying is you said that anime has a big influence on hip hop, but then give me one example. You give me I don't
oh no, no, no. I mean, sorry, I'll phrase it this way: of like if we're saying like what like Japanese is taken from like our culture, I'm saying the other way around too, or like black people have lifted from Japanese culture, not even necessarily like taking, but like appreciating and like indulging in.
yeah, I think that if you look at the break dancers from Japan or look at any Japanese rapper or any Japanese dancer,
Hmm.
look like they're trying to be black. Like it's like you
Yeah,
can you know what I mean? They're wearing do rags. Like why
yeah.
are you wearing a do rag, bro? Like your hair is coming out is so straight. Like why are you wearing do rag? So it's like
Do you remember Jin, the battle
yeah,
rapper?
of course.
Oh
Jim
my,
was fire though. Jim was
Jin was
hot.
crazy.
He was hot, but he seemed if you didn't hear him, if you didn't see him, he really sound black. You know
Yo,
what I
he
mean?
had
So it's
his
like
breakout single was like, "Y'all gonna learn Chinese." It was like he was just dropping Chinese lines in there, and then Wyclef was on the hook. Jin was the man.
it was a banger. You know what I mean? So it's like that's what I mean though. That's what I mean though. So it's like the Japanese, they've been stealing from us and watching us for a long time. And it's like everybody knows that they can dance. Like we've seen them popping, like we've seen them do all that. But when you hear about Australia, you're like,
The
the
Australians need to steal more of our culture. That's what we need. The
no, they,
Australians.
they're drinking Foster's beer. They need to drink Hennessy. They need to start drinking down there. You know, you want to get in tune with the culture.
Yeah, man. You hear that, Volkanovski? You need to get more onto the black culture. Shout out to Volk. Yeah, man, we're gonna talk about different topics and all that stuff. Maybe we'll even get into some prop suggestions a little bit. Before we get into prop suggestions, yo, I'm feeling my arms right now, boy. Yeah,
You working out?
yeah, come on, you already know. Yeah, if you're listening to audio right now, switch over to the YouTube right now. Pat, we may need to put this on the Patreon. Hmm.
Put it on the Patreon, $25 tier.
Yeah, man. With that, man, other things that we'd like to recommend outside of our Patreon that definitely exists. Let's get in some prop suggestions. My prop suggestion with this one, man, it's a challenge. It's a challenge I'm indulging in for August. I've noticed that for the last 3 years now, my August challenges have been based around writing, and this is in addition to that. And if you're a comedy fan, comedy performer, or just person that likes to write, consider this. Each day, and this is my prop suggestion, write a simile. Write a simile. So like everyone, so we know the simile is of like saying something and then kind of having that contrast of what it's like. So like I like my coffee like I like my men, black and rich. Weird example, but I wanted to give a very simple simile for the audience to understand. So each day I've been writing a simile and then having to write three tags underneath it
Mm,
for it. And I noticed in my comedy, I use similes a lot. Like I'll say something like, "Oh, I treat this like this," or "I like this like that," and I was like, "Oh, damn, I do this a lot. What if I just write similes?" Uh, I want to say success rate. Uh, I want to say what we're it's on. We're like on the 20th right now. There's been at least 7 of them that I'll be willing to try on stage. Last week, actually went to a mic and just did them. I like what I got. It's kind of hard because without the context of like setting up a story or anything like that,
yeah,
so you can build around it. But I've been finding it's been a pretty cool exercise.
that sounds like fun.
Yeah.
I think you should record one of them, do all three tags,
Hmm.
put it on Instagram. That might get some views. I think it'd be good because that's just fun,
Could be the liking my coffee like I like my men. That may be a banger of a reel. I mean,
bro. You get mad views on them quick reels.
yeah. Oh goodness. I may use one of the tags instead. I used actually one of them the day I wrote it at Music Fest. I put it in my set about the Muay Thai, and that was kind of like one of the first ones I wrote for. And I was didn't try it on mic or anything. I just tried it on stage, and it worked.
Yeah,
And I'm like, yeah, shit, nice. So, yeah, that's what I recommend for the people.
nice. My proper suggestion for the people this episode is I've been seeing. Well, we this is election time. This is
Hmm.
election time. We have people. I suggest you protect your peace.
Well,
I've been seeing people for the last 2 weeks just going back and forth. Trump this, Harris this, vote this. It's just listen. If my suggestion to people is do not comment on somebody's post that's not voting for who you want to vote for.
really?
It don't do nothing. You're not about to change nobody's mind on Facebook. Like you're gonna be back and forth looking at comments, your heart beating fast, you're supposed to be at work, you're going back and forth. Stop. Protect
Yeah.
your peace. This presidential election season. Don't comment on nobody's stuff that you disagree with. Just matter you shouldn't comment on nobody's stuff you disagree with, period.
Yeah.
I think that's weird in general. Like why do you want to be combative online?
Do you feel that this extends to commenting on even posts that you agree with that just have a political nature by heart?
Now if you agree, there's no beef.
Okay.
If you agree, you'll probably get a bunch of likes in the comment. You may get a hater who's just mad trying to disagree with you, but you can just don't respond. You ain't gotta respond. Like you don't have to do like even if you post something in favor of your candidate or your party and people disagree, you ain't gotta respond. Yo, I don't respond to people's stuff all the time. I just leave it there. Look at
Yeah.
people, look at that. I'm not saying nothing to them.
Yeah.
Protect your pieces to presidential election season. That's my suggestion.
I agree, man. For every like favorable comment you may put on a post that talks about a candidate that you like, somewhere along there's a Kyle Neff just like putting in a negative comment about like this and that and just adding negativity. So Kyle Neff, chill out. But I agree. I That's something I recognize where it's like And I get it too from a human standpoint. It can maybe be tempting if you're someone that engages in things like comments. You see a post where it's like you see a glaring hole in it, or just something that you personally offends your way of life, to kind of go in and comment on it. But you're right. It adds to nothing. I would say if maybe if anything, it adds to you'll see a post that's like, oh man, that's ridiculous, and you comment on it, maybe then other people will comment on your comment of like, yeah, I actually agree with you on this one. The person that
Yeah.
originally made this, he sucks. We should both agree to unfriend them. Something along that can happen, and maybe that's like a positive moment for the two of you. But generally speaking, yes, I agree. It's a kind of a waste of time. Uh, what does this apply for comedy posts as well? I don't know if you saw last week. There's comedy posts going crazy. People
What happened
calling
last
people
week?
out.
What
I don't know.
happened?
There's like people making posts about like oh, I'm at this comedy place and this person they're at this comedy place. They're a gatekeeper at that comedy place. Then inside the comments of these posts, there's like 27 people just talking about this and that, not even related to the posts. There's internet beefing. What the heck?
All right, something I learned that I've been because I've I've had my fair share of stirring the pot. I've done it. But what I've learned and try to be cognizant of every time there's like any kind of beef going on is like nobody happily booked is really beefing about comedy online. Like nobody really is like if you even if you are happily booked, it looks like you're not if you're beefing online. Like it just looks like you have a lot of time to be worrying about other people and that's what it looks like. So I try to even when I'm beefing with people, I don't even put it I don't say nothing online. I don't want nobody to think that I ain't doing nothing out here that I'm bored. You look bored.
uh, Person Proud, if you could cut this up and post this on all over the it's 1000% true. And you're right, because a lot of times that could be the case where it's like, oh, what are you doing? Like, are you getting booked if you're busy online doing this? But also the perception of it, you're right. Because a lot of times I see those and I'm like, all right, well, you're not seeing X, Y, and Z who's getting booked this and that, like engaging in this. I say it in the sense of like, all right, I don't really feel a need to like engage in this unless someone's like saying something to me directly. And even then, it's like, what am I going to get up in a thread and have public displays of this? It's like, no, I'll message you privately. What are you doing?
Yeah, I think that another part of it that I feel like why comedians publicly beef is because we're comedians. A lot of us do this because we like the feeling that we get of people thinking and talking about us and laughing at
Mm.
our jokes. We're low key narcissists. So it's kind of like, all right, I got action. Like I got stuff going, like something's
Uh,
going on. I got and my endorphins are going on. Like it feels good. It feels like you're doing something. You know what I mean?
yeah, comics, man. This is your boy out here. Someone's been doing it for a minute and all that stuff, man. If you have those tendencies, you like the attention. Yeah, I like the attention. We like the attention, all that stuff. Save that for the stage. Save it for the writing and save it for the stage, man. I would say that's one of the cool benefits of comedy that I don't even know if it's hit me in a subconscious level or even if I've ever even realized it, but like I feel like it's benefited a lot of my forms of communication
Mm-hmm.
because I have that means of like, okay, the spotlight's on me, the tension's on me, I'm doing this. That's I have that venue for that. I have that avenue. So I don't really feel the need to be like on here like chatting with people or like even just in certain situations like being like the center of attention.
Yeah.
So I'm grateful for comedy in that way. And if you're a comic, consider that before you log on to the threads and all that.
And if you think about my first initial point,
Mm.
why you look bored, you look unbooked, right? That feeling you get from being on stage and being booked, you don't need to get the feeling from the beef because you on stage. That's what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
a lot of people beef because they're unbooked and bored. Like
Yeah.
if you're on stage getting them endorphins flowing that way, you wouldn't need the other way. So yeah, I agree.
Yeah, man. Yeah, another suggestion for comics. Go up on stage and air your grievances on there. Make your 3 to 5 minute set just about the comedy beef. And man, we're goofing right now. We're goofing off, sort of thing like that, because there's some real beefs and some real grievances happening, and people they want to air that out. So we got to chill out.
Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't too entrenched into that. I wanted to talk to you though, since we talk about the algorithm and Facebook and stuff. I wanted to talk to you about the algorithm affecting art, right? Because
Hmm.
I was thinking about this. I've seen my homie, right? He does well online, and he posts like stand up clips online, right? And he deviated from the topics that he normally talks about that he gets views from, and I guess his new topics haven't been getting views, right?
Well,
And he had posted, right? This is what I'm learning. This is what I figured. He had posted. He was like, "Well, I guess the algorithm doesn't want me talking about this. Let me go back to talking about that." Right? So it was like I watched the algorithm make him stop doing what he wanted to do
oh no,
to do what the algorithm wanted him to do.
it's a damn shame.
And man, it hurt me, bro, because like the algorithm really got us by the testicles, bro. Like it's like we got to do what it said. Like, could you imagine Richard Pryor couldn't put out Live on Sunset if he had to feed Instagram every single day?
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
wild
like
to think what his Instagram would be like. It's weird to think about that.
if you doing selfies every day, say Jack, yeah, I'm smoking
Rod,
crack right now.
I feel like there's certain comics like Rodney Dangerfield. He'd be on live nonstop. Uh, like, but no. To this though, so you were able to see the original numbers, maybe a certain amount. He switches up. He wants to talk about Dostoevsky. The
Yeah.
numbers go down. He has to go back to talking about butt cheeks or whatever. The numbers go back to where they were.
Also, though, what he's talking about, it's not like he's just doing selfie videos. This is him on stage.
Nice.
So it's like the algorithm is controlling his stage material. It's
Uh,
like he's thinking about what he should say on stage because the algorithm likes it.
no, that's one where I'm like, don't. I get the online presence part, definitely that, and like if you're doing videos, but I feel like the purest form is the stand-up part, man. So like if you want to talk about X, Y, and Z and Russian literature and all that stuff on stage, if that's what's fueling you, you do that. And then cut the clips up of stuff that you think is going to be helpful for online, but don't switch up the material too much.
On viral is like a shark tasting blood. It's like you just once you get that first taste, you just want it, you want it, and then you want it. You know what I mean? So it's like he want to go viral. And so it's like a drug out here, man. It's really affecting the way people put together their art. You got comedians that are literally writing 1 minute jokes. Like
Yeah.
they get to a minute and they're done with the topic. It's like, bro,
Yeah.
you could get more out of that. Why you worry about Instagram?
Well, that's and there's some validity to it, a lot of validity. Like you said, like going viral, and there's a lot of popular shows like that too, where it's like you go on stage and the whole concept is perform for a minute, sort of thing like that. So it's like I think a lot of times people are that's their exposure to comedy, and that's like what they'll build towards. And that's kind of like what's rewarded. And not saying that's bad or anything, but I think there is an increase of that. I would love if people continue to like really work on the craft part. But I don't know why I got to be as purist. If you want to do a thing where it's like, yo, I'm just I'm not just, but I'm someone that caters towards like a minute of comedy of
Yeah.
X, Y, and Z topic. Yeah, do your thing. But for me, I'm probably not going to do that. But yeah, if it works for people.
See, that's the thing. That's why I brought it up, and that's why it hurt me because it clearly wasn't working for my guy. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
he wanted to do something different and realized like, yo, I need them thousands of likes, bro. I need that. You know what I mean? So it's like I get it. I get it because again, you can't really get booked nowadays without having a follow to fill seats. So you gotta do what you gotta do. I get it, but the algorithm, man, is really hurting art, bro. Like, it's just
Yeah, I wonder if like, yeah, it'd be interesting to like and for bookers, and I know there's interviews with bookers too. I was about to say, it'd be interesting to hear from a booker, but I'm sure if we Google, we'd be able to find one of how many of them are really. Oh, Google just went crazy on my phone. How many of them are really thinking of it that way? Of like, oh, I'm going to book this comic because they have 15,000 followers and they have viral this and that. Versus like, oh, I'm a booker who's really immersed in comedy. I can know from someone's recommendation that this person's good, even if they have 800 followers. They're not really like doing it online like that. I wonder how much of it is of the first and how much of it is of the second. Like if the second still exists.
good doesn't matter. It's about money. So it's
Hmm.
like It makes sense. You don't run a comedy club to have good comedy shows. You run a comedy club to make money.
Oh, yeah.
That's what you do. You don't do any business. Like you don't run a restaurant to just to serve good food. You want to make money. You know what I mean? Like you're not gonna be giving away free food. It's like, well, this chef right here, he doesn't make enough for everybody in the restaurant, but this one table is going to eat very good. Like, no, you want to be able to have a crowded restaurant. That's what you want.
Is that just for comedy? Like, does that apply for like the burlesque world?
Everything, bro. Everything. Everything is about money, asses and seats. It's
Hmm.
America, capitalism.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, I just imagine for like very established comedy clubs that are making their revenue consistently, it's flowing, that there's room for being like, oh yeah, no, that person's just like a killer. Like they're very good at this. But I know exactly what you mean too, because that's a lot of times it's like job interviews where it's like you're looking at a bunch of applicants, and you are almost looking for something that either stands out or something that is lacking, and it's like such an easy way to eliminate. So if you see a bunch of comedians trying to get into a certain club and you go on their page and see they have no online presence, that's just a quick way of being like, oh, let me not even put energy into that. Let's go to the other people that do have it. So yeah, I'm sure that is a very real thing. I'm sorry for your friend.
He'd be all right, you know what I'm saying? He it seemed like he want the fame. That's what I realized too in comedy. You either want to be a entertainer or artist. So
Yeah,
it's like I want to be an artist. Like I enjoy creating art, and yeah, I'm not really too far. Like, I don't even want to be famous. I want to be the most famous comedian, but I want nobody to know who I am. Does that make sense?
kind of. Yeah. You think he'd be happy as a ghostwriter?
Oh yeah, yeah. But I already know. Like I just want to be able to pay my bills, travel, and eat what I want from comedy. That's it. Like it ain't even like I need to be the biggest Dave Chappelle, Kevin Hart, biggest face. I want to be able to perform every weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to be able to be booked every single weekend at a comedy club anywhere I want. That's if I can do that, I can ghostwrite for whoever needs a pen. I'm available.
You hear that, DL Yugi? It's sorry, Miss
DL
Manfield.
will be my dream person to write for. I
Yeah.
literally said this in 10 more years and a few more books, a few more woke books. It might be DL. I already know it. Like I'm already right there.
Yeah. But well, before we get into like goals and all that stuff, man, we talk about artists performing and all that. I want to give a shout out to Helium's Phileas Funniest. I went there on Sunday. This is the most packed I've ever seen Helium.
Really?
It was insane. Like they sat me because it was just me there. They sat me with like a random table, and we had a nice conversation with this group of people. Shout out to Kyle. I realize that's my third Kyle shout out on this one. His name was Kyle though. And yeah, it was very crowded there. And shout out to the winner. Shout out to Tata Sharice. She rocked out. She was like,
Yeah.
I remember thinking up there for like a few of the performers of just like in my head of like get comfortable. Like you get comfortable, you're gonna rock out. And she went up, she got comfortable. Very comfortable. Yeah, she shut it down and a lot of them shut it down. It was one of the better finals I've seen in a while. So yeah,
Yeah.
shout out to them. It was good.
It's good for her, man. She's the first black woman to win the
I know.
police funniest competition, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to her.
Yeah.
I see she was happy. I watched the video. She was Millie rocking.
They I was standing on the lobby. It was so damn. It was literally like everyone in the comedy scene was out there. It was crazy. So we're like just standing out, and then like sometimes the winner will come out and everyone like cheers. I was not prepared. I was just kind of talking to a person, and it was like Tata comes out, people are cheering, and then like cameras on left and right, and I'm like, oh, I don't. I'm happy and all that stuff, but it was just like, oh, this is a lot of cameras on sort of thing like that. So I was trying to be discreet.
Did you do the competition this year? Did you do it?
I didn't do it this year. No.
Yeah, maybe next year it could be you.
Yeah. Did you? You didn't? You didn't do it this year, right?
I'll never. I haven't done it. It's pre-pandemic. Like I haven't.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm
I'm
not
out.
against it. I would do it. It's just this year. I just didn't do it this year.
I'm against it.
I feel like you mentioned you were against it before, but I forgot exactly why you were against it.
I don't even know. I feel like I'm. You know what's really. You know why I'm really against it? I don't feel like I should lose, right?
I hear that.
I
Yeah.
can't handle losing. I can't handle like no, I my head too big, bro. I can't.
Yeah. No, I get that. It's one of those things where I feel like some people may hear that and be like, I don't get it, but no, I totally get that. It's like, yo, you're up there, you're doing your stuff, you're doing your A material, and you hear people laughing. And especially in some cases, if it's based off a voting system and how people bring people and all that stuff, I get that. But I still think it could be cool. It's I would definitely do it again.
Yeah, so the money is definitely good. Like it's definitely I think everybody should do it, but I'm just telling you that my ego is where my ego is right now. I'm not, catch me doing those that one, not that one, that one.
Would you? I'll put it this way though. Would you ever do something like we talk about the 1 minute performances? I kind of alluded to it. Would you ever do that Kill Tony show where they have the comics put their name in a bucket and then they are selected to do a minute of comedy?
I'm not sure. What about you? Would you do it?
I think about this a lot. I think I'm also on the not short bucket because there's one side where it's like, all right, I could prepare like a minute and I think it would be solid. I know a lot of times people go up there and it doesn't go their way, whatever, but that's that aside. Like, I feel like I'd be able to prepare a minute and be like solid. I think it's just the idea of it. You're just like, is this because it could be a means of exposure? You could then do weekends if people really like you and all that stuff. But it's also like, yo, you're really confining yourself to a minute. If maybe it doesn't go well, then you're subject to being roasted and all that. So I'm a bit unsure.
I'm gonna just be honest. I'm very sure. I'm not. I won't do it. It's not my scene. I'm not. I'm not. Nah, bro. Like I'm not gonna be talking about my kids in that environment. Like,
Right. That's the
hey,
thing.
I'm a dad. I got two kids. I'm cool, bro. That's just not my thing, man. Like,
Yeah, that's I'm kind of on that end too, especially like if the roast element of it, where it's like, all right, well, I'm subjecting it because it's like the interview part too. It's like subjecting kind of like parts of your life to like all these viewers, and you're not really in control of what's. I guess you can be, but it's definitely pushed in a certain way where they're like, tell us the biggest thing in your life or something like that. It's like, oh. So I was curious to hear your thoughts on it, given
yeah.
what you mentioned about the contest.
I'm not. I don't care about the minute. Like the minute is fine, but that ain't my scene, bro. Like I'm just not. Like I think I'm aware that like I get views from it, but like I don't want to open up for none of them guys. Like
Mm, yeah. It's
whatever.
the shout out to, I will say shout out to them though. I have been watching a little bit more after the Shane Trump and Adam Ray Biden episode. And I've been tuning in here and there and like, God, sometimes it is entertaining. And then sometimes it's like, oh man, that's really cruel. So it's like certain things to like the performers. So yeah, it's interesting to hear your take on it. But with that, let's get in some goals.
My goal, I got to continue to read this book. Oh, How to Write a Plot,
Oh yeah,
and I stopped reading it. I don't even know why, but I bought it on Spotify, not Spotify. What's it called? Uh,
Amazon.
yeah, on the Kindle.
Hip Hop Crack.
What's Hip Hop Crack? What you mean?
It's a place where they sell hip hop and crack and books, maybe.
No, no, I never heard of it. It sounds like an amazing place, probably run by the government. But I think that it's called How to Write a Plot. My goal is I gotta finish it. I need to finish it this. What's today? Today is Tuesday. This week, like this week, like that's I guess that's like my tangible goal that has to happen. Like I gotta stop playing around and just finish this book, bro. Because this book, this the new goal, bro. You gotta get this web series. I gotta write this web series. I'm gonna write it. So yeah, after the book's done, I'm gonna really put pen to paper. I got the ideas and scenes and stuff written, but I gotta finish this book. Then I can start writing and then have it come to life and then go from there.
Can
Yeah.
I give a suggestion? When it comes to the book reading and all that stuff, where a lot of times like I've come across the ones where it's like, oh man, like there's certain parts of books that's not as enthralling. It's kind of just falls by the wayside and all that stuff. Uh, if you want to add to the goal, and I know you said by this week, but if you set whatever time you put to it, set just a certain amount of pages per day, just
Yeah.
like 5 pages per day, and just stick with that. And a lot of times it leads to reading more than 5 pages if the thing is
Yeah.
entertaining, all that stuff. I think that's a really helpful one when it comes to like completing books.
You told me that last time. It's good advice. I'll do that.
Yeah.
I gotta finish.
Yeah, man. Shout out to me. I'm on page 480 of The Idiot. It's been I started this book in April. And I'm waiting to get done with it, but almost there. Using the 3 pages per day. Sometimes I forget though, or sometimes just
Yeah.
don't make it around to it. But I have a different goal. My goal, shout out to the Downingtown Writers Club at the Downingtown Library. There's a current practice where each person, it's called like a uh, corpse something. They gave their own name for it, but it's some people call it like writer's popcorn, where we all kind of contribute to a story. So person A starts a story. They write like a page of it. Then person B continues the story. Person C and then continues. So I'm currently it's been handed over to me and I have to
What
continue.
letter are you?
What's up? I'm
What
four.
letter are you? For?
D. Oh boy. Yeah, I'm letter D. Well, so I'm pretty much doing a page of this story, and I have an idea of where I want to map it out to and all that stuff. My goal is actually to finish it tonight. I've had so much different stuff X, Y, and Z, and I haven't put attention to it. But tonight, is to finish the story, and then have it submitted to the Writers Club, and then yeah, hopefully it's fulfilling.
When is it over? When is the story be done? You're the last person.
No, I think there's like seven. Yeah, I think there's seven that are participating. There's more people in the club, but seven participating. So yeah, I think there's. I'm not sure on that end, but I think around seven.
How many? How much you got to write?
About a page. It looked like everyone else wrote like almost a little under a page. So, and granted, if it's going to be seven people, you don't want it to be like this huge thing. So yeah, I think I'm gonna do like 500 words or something like that, and yeah, see how it goes.
Well, good luck. Sounds like you got it down pat. 500 words, nothing to you.
I'm feeling good about it. And sometimes you get in your head about the direction of stuff, but overall, I think it'll be okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be all right. You got it though. So that's the goals
Yeah,
this week.
man. Outside of hitting the gym, what up, Planet Fitness? I see you. What up,
Are you?
X?
Is that what you've been doing? You've been going to the gym?
Yeah, no, it's Lisa. She has membership there, platinum card, so I just tag along with her as like her free guest. And yeah, we've been doing this thing where we've just been going to the gym. She goes regularly, but now I've been tagging along and along with my Muay Thai practices. So it's
You hear this,
get my
Pat?
full body in.
You hear this, Pat? He thinks he's tagging along.
What do you mean?
She's making you go.
Oh, that's funny. No, if I was like, yeah, I'm staying home to play UFC 5, I think she'd be cool with it. But I genuinely like it. It's I never this is the first time I've
Yeah.
like consistently have been going to the gym, and it's been that's cool. I got like my routines down, and I work on a lot of my cardio. And yesterday was some arms, so yeah, it was good.
Did she? She got you like the gym. Great. This is great. So you like the gym. That way you don't think that it's her making you go.
Damn, I may be getting tricked right now. My DJ.
Women are something else, man.
Well, I don't think that was intent, but if it was, I suppose it played out for the best.
You think that she don't want you to go to the gym?
I think she's cool with me going to the gym. I think it's
Oh no, no, you didn't answer the
I don't
question. Do you think that she doesn't want you to go? Like she said, so if you was like, hey, do you think she wants you to go to the gym or not? That's the question. That's the question.
uh if there's a preference, I'd imagine she'd probably prefer if between those two options, yeah, I'd say
That's,
so.
that's all I wanted because those are the options.
Yeah, I will. I think there's a few options though. I feel like that's a very yes or no situation. There could be like oh yeah, maybe you go to the gym on occasion here and there, but it's not something like a staple of your life. Like that's something that I do, but you don't do. Um, does she appreciate like certain like physical elements of me going to the gym? I'm sure. Yeah, like I could see that. But I just don't think it's this like underlying like this kind of like subverted thing where it's like, oh, I'm gonna like present it this way, so then he goes and thinks that he's doing it himself. But I could be wrong, I suppose. I don't think I'm
I
wrong
think
though.
you're
I think I'm
I,
yeah.
I think you're wrong. I don't think that
Nope.
she's like I don't think it's a bad thing though. I don't think that she's like, ooh, I'm going to get Kirk. No, I think that she's like, I care about Kirk. And I know that the gym is good for Kirk.
That,
So
yeah,
so he'll start going.
that's a possibility. Yeah, I won't even say that's not a possibility. I just from knowing Lisa and just how she operates, I don't know if that's how she presented it, but could be the case. She's getting the benefits of the kangaroo pose. I'm bouncing
Exactly.
my tail. She's that's um,
That's my point exactly. She wants to go down under with the ray gun.
oh my goodness, yeah. She's like, ooh, I like that gap in your teeth. What you do with
Yeah.
it?
Let me see you flippy flop on your head. Let me see that. What you think?
I'm very curious what this whole gap situation is. With that though, we're gonna leave you on a cliffhanger, people. Perhaps in the next episode, we'll let you know what that gap do. God damn it. But it's thank you for listening, for liking. If you came to Music Fest, big shout out to you. Thank you for being a part of it. And yeah, man, we're out here. Follow us online for all the shows and perhaps some similes.
Like, share, subscribe, comment, all of that.
You later.